Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody's Friday is starting out great. I'm going to do the recap from yesterday because I don't want to fall behind on these. And what happens is when we have a short week, like when we have a holiday at the beginning of the week, my mentor sessions that I do in the evening get piled up, or I have to do more in a day so I can stay caught up, and it takes up the time I have to do recap videos. So it throws things kind of out of sync. Plus I'm making a change on the videos, and that's all based on the things that I went through during my time out, things that I thought about, issues that I identified that affect the psychology of my trading. And as we all know, the mental aspect of trading is what determines whether we're going to be profitable, inconsistent, and eventually fail. So, getting that mental aspect together, having your mind right, that's key. So whatever it takes, whatever I have to do, that's what I'm going to do. And what I do is probably going to be a little bit different than what most people do, or what a lot of people do. But again, it's what's going to help me get to the next level. So with this small account, it's really tough. I've never started with $1,000 before. The lowest that I've been, I think I started with 15 and then got down to around 12 one time. But it's all a mental thing. I'm putting a lot of the mess on me because of how I'm thinking. And, that's something that I had to change. I had unrealistic expectations. But what I'm most proud about is that I wasn't afraid to take a chance and fail. Okay, if I had not tried, if I had not taken this opportunity, if I had not accepted the challenge, so to speak, and from my students that this is all they have and they really want to see what it's going to take, you're seeing the struggle, you're seeing the mental aspect of it. Why you got to have your head right, especially if you're trading smaller size, because you're putting handcuffs on, and then you're trying to go out and do things with your hands handcuffed behind your back, and it makes it a little tough, makes it a lot tough. But you can't be afraid to fail. You can't be afraid to lose when you get into this, because you're gonna lose. Okay, what you want to be afraid of is not having what it takes to give it a try, to see what it's gonna take and what you're gonna need to move forward. So don't be afraid to fail in this industry, because we all fail. We all go through periods of failure. So you just gotta persevere and push yourself through. Because those that survive in this industry have patience, have discipline, have they're able to go through a storm and come out. They're able to fall down and get back up and just keep moving. And that's what it's going to take. All right, so let's look at some of these trades real quick. Yesterday on LE, I was really patient, not really patient, but you can see we had a little support up under here. So what I wanted to do, I could get in with 200 shares, and I was looking for 1950. But then I knew we had a level here that I felt should not give us a whole lot of problems on the initial move down. I felt we could get a good move to 1950, and then if it bounced, it could reject here and continue down, or if we claim this and started to move back up, I would take it all back off. But it would be a decent profit it'll just be a base hit. It wouldn't be a home run. But, obviously as soon as I got in, when we were breaking the opening range low, this thing threw me back up, stopped me out, and then here we made a move down on this next candle. It pulled back, rejected up here. This was the opening range. This was the pre-market low here. It rejected it, came all the way back, kind of made the move I was looking for. But yesterday morning was kind of choppy. It was choppy all across the board. So if you didn't get stopped out, you did pretty good. If you did get stopped out, you had to wait and come back in. So, now one of the changes I'm making, I'm not looking at the money. I'm not looking at what I made, what I didn't make, because, I have to practice what I preach. And I preach not trading your P&L, not looking at it, not worrying about what you made today or whatever. It's, where are you at the end of the week? And then you can look at each day at the end of the week. Part of my unrealistic expectations was looking at what I was doing every day and then coming back the next day trying to get a certain number. And that's not the way to trade, especially when you're trading smaller. Now, when you have been doing it for a while and you gain experience and you have a handle on the mental aspect of it and you don't have a problem separating money, then that's fine. You can do it. But I have a problem separating my P&L from my trading. And so as long as I have that problem, if I have it for the rest of my trading career, I'm not going to be trading looking at money. So, that aspect of it, I'm going to take off and just focus on what's going on in the trades. Because that's going to help me, continue to turn this thing around. So this was a pretty quick stop out here. You can see within less than a minute, I was done. It's like as soon as I got in, it just got thrown back in my face. But this is part of what we deal with here. Now, had I got in up here, when we ran up and started to sell off, had I jumped in up here, would have been a different story. But I waited, got in down here and just didn't have the room it took to make it work. So the second trade I got was DOCU. This wasn't really smart because of how choppy it was, how choppy the morning was. And I just kind of waited until I felt we were making a good move. Like here was the 5-minute candle here. The low was all the way down here. We had the 50 from the daily sitting here. So I felt a move down here would be imminent. We would at least get this move down. And if we did bounce, then we just didn't get follow through, but I would have locked in some profit. And you can see it gave another move here. But it didn't. It turned around. It stopped me out. And it chopped around. And eventually, it made the move I was looking for. So both of the stocks I traded yesterday, the moves really didn't happen until, well after 10 o'clock. This is not an opening range trade anymore. Once you pass this threshold, this isn't an opening range trade anymore. This was, you could say this was kind of a bear flag that it put in here. But this was, would have been a VWAP rejection for me. Or a continuation from this initial move down. But whatever it was, this wouldn't have been an opening, range trade. The time for that had already gone. But you can see on both stocks yesterday, I kind of missed it. They just didn't work out. They set up, but they didn't work out. A lot of it had to do with the choppiness in the market. And I saw it across the board on pretty much everything. And like I said, if you weathered the storm on some of these, then you made money. But I didn't weather the storm. So that was that. Okay, CBS. This was another one on my watch list yesterday. And you can see we had the huge opening candle. And, you know, with these, I kind of wait until we get through this pre-market high. Because you see what happened. We pushed up. We couldn't get over the pre-market high. So we had to pull back. And on these, you can trade the pullback. This is a perfect bull flag here. Continuation pattern. Continuation trading 101. You know, this is what I look for continuation. I'm not looking for the bear flag. This is just a confirmation that we may be continuing this move up after the pullback. You know, for me, I'm buying it off support. You know, I don't care about the flag, but this is what a lot of people look for. And you want to get in. You don't want to get in after the flag break, because you see it tried to break it, it pulled back. You want to get in, and you want to be in for the break, so that you're taking profit through this, because that's where the big money players are. They're going to take profit once you break the high, which is going to pull it back, and then they're going to buy the pullback and go up. So that's what we want to look to see. But by then, you know, by 9:45, I was done for the day. You know, I got stopped out twice. I was through, and I wasn't going to continue. You know, that wouldn't have made much sense. You know, once I'm kind of out of sync, I'm not taking any more trades. So this was a nice one. NAV, this was one that we were looking at. Now, I've been looking at this the day before, because on earnings, this is one of the stocks that we looked at school when I was teaching. You know, I brought trading into my classroom through the transportation stocks and stocks that dealt with engineering and design and everything I brought in. So that allowed me to bring stocks into my classroom, which really helped me grow. But this one was not showing any volume, so I couldn't put it on my watch. But you can see we put in the opening range low here, and it actually made a real decent move all day long. Did exactly what I thought it was going to do. But you know, hey, it's, you know, it is what it is. It didn't have volume. I couldn't put it on watch. I couldn't break my rule to put it on watch. And you know, once it opened, it really didn't have a whole lot of volume. But again, I was already out. You know, I was done for the day before these moves even happened. And I could see several places where I could have gotten in here, on every pullback. You know, this is where things started to slow down a bit. You know, but here, after lunch, you know, beautiful. But, you know, that's what happens when you blow yourself up at the early in the morning. You just have to be disciplined to stay out. Now, I probably could have made my money back, but, you know, who knew? It would have just been, you know, but what if I didn't make it back? What if this stock bounced and took me out again? You know, then I would have been down. I could have been down 20-30% of my account. And, you know, that's not something we want to go into. All right, so I didn't get a chance to make a copy of the trade from Tuesday. Tuesday, we had a decent trade on AMD. I didn't trade the open. I mean, Tuesday and Wednesday. This was Wednesday. Tuesday and Wednesday, I really didn't trade the open because trade ideas did not come online until well after 8 o'clock. One time it came on right at 8:30. And I start my morning at 8 o'clock. And when something is not right, things are out of whack, I am not going to start my day the right way. I mean, the way I normally do. I'm going to sit out the open. I'm going to wait, look for secondary moves. Because if my schedule is thrown off, then I'm out of sync. I'm a creature of habit. And that's where my consistency comes in. So when things get messed up and throw me out, my schedule and everything, then I can't do what I was gonna do. It just doesn't work out. So I didn't trade the open. We look for the continuation move here. We had this nice bounce in the one candle here. I waited for confirmation, got in, had a nice move down at the 27. I took it, according to plan. But I was looking for a move through this 2684, possibly the 2650. It didn't even get down here to test it again. This was a previous low. Never got back to test it. Once it bounced and it didn't test this, I took it off because I knew normally the move is dead. And sitting here holding it, letting it stop me out at break even would not make sense. So if we couldn't make a new low on this one, take it off. Wait to see if we get another rejection. You could always get back in. But you can see this one just recovered and continued on up. So, even though it wasn't a home run, it was a base hit, I was pretty happy with it and how it traded. So, really, really happy with this. So Wednesday, we had a really good trade. I just couldn't trade the open Tuesday and Wednesday. And because my schedule just got thrown off. My process is off. I go to my secondary process, which is just waiting for secondary moves. And you can see this is what I was looking at on the daily chart on AMD. It had gapped up on the 52-week high. And a lot of these, when they gap up, they're going to pull back in. And that's what I was looking for, the strong pull back in. That's exactly what I was trying to trade. But, missing that initial move, I missed the meat of the move, really. All right. So, that's kind of got us caught up to date. Again, don't be afraid to fail at something at this trading. Just be afraid not to try. Because once you get in, you're going to see what it takes to make it. And you're gonna continue. You're gonna fight, and I'm sure that you're gonna make it. So let's see what today brings. Hopefully, we're gonna have some positive and a positive end to this week, and we'll be ready to, go into next week with both guns blazing. So you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys on Sunday.